What if you've actually been taking advice or direction from people that didn't actually know you well enough to give you that direction or advice? Now, I understand that a lot of people might look at this and they might be like, well, if somebody knows what they're talking about and they know a subject or area and they're actually credible in terms of being able to give direction or advice, I get it. If somebody has experience in a field and they can actually interject and be like, yeah, it goes this way, it works that way, this is the process, this is how it happens, and that's the way it works. I understand. I get it. What I'm referring to more so is a deeper sense of personal direction. And when I say that, I mean how a person approaches a process, because there's a difference between giving somebody a sense of direction for a process in terms of how the process works, and there's actually a contrast between that and how a person approaches that process. There's the process itself, right? There's the order of events in regards to whatever it is, whatever the process is, and there is how a person approaches that process. What I'm talking about is how the person approaches that process. And with that, the only way that I believe anybody can actually give somebody a sense of depth in terms of direction is based upon how well that person knows the other person personally, not just the process in which the subject is or whatever it is that the person is going to do, the endeavor, the achievement, right? Whatever the person's going after. How do they perform? What do they perform? How do they execute? And that goes way more into healthier dynamics in relationships than anything else. And a lot of people actually don't understand that. And the fascinating thing about this is that a majority of the material in that area ends up being not only unsolicited advice, but the person doesn't even know the other person. How well you can know another person is so much dependent on how well you know yourself. And the emotionally healthier the person is, the better they are going to be at knowing not only themselves, but the other person. The depth to which I have met myself is the potential in terms of the depth to which I can meet you. The reason why healthier relationships are more successful is because they are healthier. The unhealthier the relationship, the less depth there's going to be. Why? Well, a lot of it, in my opinion, from what I've learned, has to do with defense mechanisms. We all have defense mechanisms, but a lot of people that are emotionally unhealthier, they have unhealthier defense mechanisms that stop them, that limit them from deeper connections and relationships with people. The unhealthier your defense mechanisms are, the more limited you're going to be in your capacity to connect with people. This is not fixed. You can do something about it. You can work through your shit and you can do the work to heal, and therefore many of your defense mechanisms can alleviate or, become lessened or just disappear altogether. But we all have defense mechanisms. That's the way that it works. Um, the answer to that, the understanding of that, is in Freudian psychology, in psychoanalytic theory. Excuse me. And so the reality of this is that it's a matter of knowing and being known. The healthiest relationships consist of a depth of dynamic, of knowing and being known. That is healthy love. Knowing and being known. The only way that I can know you to the best of my ability is if I know myself to the best of my ability. And the only way that I can give you a sense of direction in terms of your own personal style, the way that you click, not the process, not how to execute X, Y, and Z, but how Chris would best approach the process based on his own personal style. A lot of people like to give advice. They like to give direction. They think they know. I don't really think that they do. I'm not calling anybody out. I'm just saying that from what I've experienced, from what I've learned, a majority of the people out there that give advice are one, unsolicited about it, and two, don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. If you want to give somebody the best fabric of advice possible, it's not just about knowing the process X, Y, and Z, the order of execution of whatever it is that they're trying to go after. It's also about knowing them. Like, for instance, you want to go to college? Cool. I'll advise you on X, Y, and Z for that process. Is there anything else to take into consideration? Quite honestly, yeah. One thing that I can think of is knowing a person's learning style. A lot of people try to say that learning styles aren't real or that they don't exist. I don't buy it. I believe that everyone's approach to learning is individually unique. Many people might share very similar styles. That's okay. But if you know that somebody wants to go to college, you can advise them on that. But then also, like, what about their own personal ethics? What about their own personal approach to whatever it is? If it's college, are you a visual learner? Are you a audible? How do you learn? How do you human? How do you approach being a fucking human in whatever process it is? The better you know a person, the more able you are to advise them in any direction. And the more that I grow and the more that I heal, the more I don't listen to just anybody and everybody. And believe me, I don't. Most people, I take a good hot minute to really get to know them and then realize that they're not healthy in terms of giving me any sense of direction. The only person that actually has authority over you is yourself. The only person who actually has the best possible capacity to know you is yourself. If anybody else tries to suggest that they have that, they're fucking lying to you. The better you can know yourself, the better you can know other people. And the better you can know other people, the better you can know if other people are actually passing the fucking test of being able to give you any sense of direction in life. You don't have to listen to everybody. You don't have to take advice from everybody. If you meet somebody and you discover that they are very limited in their capacity to know themselves, the likelihood that they're going to be very limited in the capacity to even have a connection, a relationship with you that has any sense of depth to it is going to be very fucking slim. So, should you actually take advice from everyone? I don't think so. And I think that the people that want to give advice are the ones that don't have healthy boundaries and it ends up being unsolicited. It takes time for one person to get to know another person. Healthy intimacy takes time. Somebody's capacity, somebody's ability to give direction, to give advice, is also, in my honest opinion, dependent on how well they not only know themselves, but have taken the time to get to know you. Hey, Chris, I see that you're looking to go after X, Y, and Z endeavor. Based on how well I know you, would you be interested in listening to any advice that I have to offer? Oh, well, considering you know me pretty well, considering we've taken the time to get to know each other, and you seem to know me well, and you seem to know what it is that I want to go after well, yeah, I'm happy to take advice from you. There's that. And then there's also, hey, I really don't know you at all. Never took the time to get to know you, but I'm going to tell you what I think you should do. I don't listen to everyone. I don't take advice from everyone. Actually, a very small number of people. I used to take advice from everyone, and it led me everywhere. And when I say that, I mean distracted. That's the reality of it. You get to choose for yourself. How well do you know yourself? How well do you want to know yourself? How well do these people that you have in your life know you based on how well you know yourself? Or how well you don't know yourself? How well other people know you is based on how well you know yourself. And if you don't know yourself that well, the likelihood that other people know you is not very high. This needs to be understood. How well other people know you is based on how well you know yourself. Because the self consists of boundaries. What it is that you let out or take in consists of boundaries. And how you've chosen to approach people based on that entirely dictates the outcome of it. How well other people know you is based on how well you know yourself. There are people that I've allowed in more than other people because I've taken the time to get to know myself better in their presence, and therefore they know me better. But the people that don't know me better are the ones that lack healthy boundaries. And I keep a very serious eye out for that.